Hello?
Hello, CP.
Hey, my friend, how
Good
are you?
day. Yeah, I'm good. And you?
I am astonished.
Mm. Yeah, this is Kazim on the line. I
Yeah, yeah,
called you
I
to.
saw I saw your message. You said, look like you agree with me finally, huh?
Yeah, like because I when I got to mosque, I asked one of the sheiks that I want them to talk to one Christian guy. He said, no, 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 I shouldn't talk to those guys. That it was Allah that misled them. I shouldn't talk to those
He said
guys.
what? He said what?
It is Allah that misled them, like
Ah,
he
Allah misleaded
misguided
us.
them.
Yeah. But you know,
That
Kazim, I want to go back with you. When you text me first time, and I'm showing your text now, if you don't mind, in Skype, you said to me, you are lying about the Holy Prophet. May Allah guide you. Do you remember your
uh,
text?
yeah. I remember that I
Okay.
sent
Why
you
you said that to me?
because most people they just stay on YouTube and they start lying to people and start saying even though you even some people when they never meet you before you guys have never met they start saying bad things about you, you know.
Mhm.
So
But no problem. But I mean, when you were watching my videos, didn't you see I show reference?
no, although I've not really watched tons of your videos. I only watch one, two videos, but the video was just like an argument, like you're arguing with somebody. So it's not like a clear,
Mm.
it's not like I've known Christian Prince for a long time
So
or
I
it's
want to
just
ask you now, as long you agree with me, do you think Allah guided you to believe Islam is false?
no, the thing, what I'm thinking now is that I'm not even thinking about, I believe all religion is calm. That's what I just think.
Okay, so now you
Because
agree. But first of all, so do you agree that Islam is a fraud?
Muhammad is a fraud, is a
Mhm.
fraud. Because how can, like, the benefit number 10 that I read about, that if Muhammad sets his eyes on any woman,
Mhm.
married or no married, the husband must
Mu-
divorce
Must
the
divorce her,
lady.
right? But this is nice, actually, because you know
So
what?
what does that have to help the religion?
Oh no,
How
no,
is
no.
that
I
helping
will
the
tell you how it
religion?
helped. That will make the prophet eyes more strong because a woman she walk by, he look at her ass, and he's showing you that the prophet he have a radar. He is observant. He is sent by Allah. So he see a woman, he like her ass, and then her husband, he have to divorce her.
No, because if you what I started looking at is that you see, did Musa behave like that? Or
No.
the earliest prophet, did he behave that way?
Yeah,
So
but
those are the, you
yeah,
need, sometimes you need to check facts, you know.
yeah,
And
but you see, didn't you notice that the women, like when the Muslims speak about the Prophet, he like a woman. He if his eyes fall on her, which means he like her, her husband have to divorce her. Didn't you notice that not a Muslim is bothered and angry from this?
well, I'm not well. See, I like I don't even know what to say, but even this I'm hearing for the first time. We never heard any because yeah, well in Nigeria we don't call most of the Islamic teachers, we don't call them sheikhs, we call them mustas, or we call them alfas.
Hmm.
So those guys they just keep on, and they don't even like you to ask them questions because they said according to the Quran you're not supposed to ask questions. You're not supposed to question the revelation. So if you're asking too much questions, they get very, very angry with you.
But don't you agree that if the Prophet, like let's say, he is walking on down street and he saw a woman, she have a nice ass. So he said to himself, okay, you know what? I mean, I'm a prophet of Allah and I have a privilege. It's called the as privilege. So Allah, he wanted to make Muhammad happy. So he started receiving as privilege. I mean, why it doesn't make sense?
That is not a prophet will not behave that way. That is a gang leader. It's not a prophet. It's a gang leader. And you see, as I'm saying all this is very, very hard for me because you see, Ramadan is starting very soon, and you see, like even I don't know what, like you are saying it in a funny way, but to me it's not funny. Like I Okay. In fact, I don't. Just keep saying what you want to say because I don't know what to say.
Well, I advise you to take camel urine 3 times a day, so your memory will be more refreshed. But when you say that you notice about the privilege I spoke about, the prophet, if he like a woman, has her husband have to take her, you will notice that the husband, he don't mind. Do you see how much love? I mean, the prophet, he can take any woman from her husband, and the husband, he will be honored. He's honored. Even her kids will be honored that the prophet is going to do boom boom to their mother. So, my friend, you get it in the wrong way. I mean, who in the world will not be honored that the prophet decide to like his mom or his wife, and not even a single Muslim ask himself, what kind of a pervert prophet I have?
Let me tell you one thing. Like you see, it in Nigeria is not a small country. We have over 115 million Muslims.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you see what I'm telling you now. Like it's not even almost everybody that have a little bit of knowledge. Like some people, when you start telling them that, some people never read their hadiths before because
Yeah.
we were just taught to memorize the Quran. And see, CP, you know how this. I'm very very emotional right now because you see my childhood. I know what I went through to learn this Quran. I know how many times I got abused by my affairs, got beaten just because I was unable to memorize the Quran.
Yeah.
I know how I was being beaten. Like I don't know if it's like that in all countries, but in Nigeria you get beaten
Yeah,
to
they do. They
memorize
do.
the
This is
Quran.
especially when you are young.
I got beaten several times that so many times I don't even go to to madrasat. I don't even go like so many times. Even if I even get home, my parents they beat me up just because I was unable to memorize this. And this I was talking about when I was 9 years old, 8 years old, to 11 years old. We got beat. And there's no Nigerian. Every Muslim in Nigeria will testify to this. Learning the Quran is not something you just learn naturally. You get beaten, you get abused by their fathers and everything. And this is very, very, very tough, even though we don't even know the meaning.
Yeah. Well, this is what we do here, my friend. This is why, uh, we are sharing with the Muslims around the world. We don't hate Muslims. Actually, we're trying to save them. And here we go. You are a person who called me a liar. Just what? You called me last time in March 12, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
called
March
you.
12. I'm looking. Actually, it's Sunday. It's Sunday. So March 12, you call, you text me, you said you are lying. And
And
now,
the thing,
a
what
week
I just
after,
see,
you changed.
sorry to call you. What I'm just trying to say is that you can do it in a nice way, right? It's not like insulting, because insulting will not even make people pay attention. Like what I know now, most Nigerians don't know this, right?
Yeah, but don't you notice that if you are not, the second you say the truth, you are insulting.
And I know, but the way you do it, like you're aggressive, like
But as
oh
you
this
see,
that that that,
here we
that
go. I am aggressive with you, but you left Islam. It's
But
war.
how many times have you seen Muslim insulting Jesus
This is not about
Christ or
insult.
something?
If
Like
he is
say,
bad, insult him. This is your business. But I'm not insulting. If the truth is, I'm saying just the truth. So the truth is insulting. Muhammad is a stupid. Muhammad is a pervert. Muhammad is a thief. Muhammad is a criminal. So what I should say? Should say he's a nice guy. The whole point then is gone, because the whole point is to show you that Muhammad is a very, very bad person. So if I am going to be sugarcoating what you already, since you are a kid, they are sugarcoating this prophet. He is amazing, the best man in the world.
and the funniest part. Shall I tell you something?
Okay.
You see, the funniest part is that my wife, right? She was a Christian. I
Hmm.
was the one who converted her to Islam. Even
Okay.
give her an Islamic name. That I'm not gonna marry you if you don't. So now I don't. This is so heavy for me to even tell her that I'm not even confident because she's even preparing for Ramadan already. Huh.
Well, just tell her the
So
truth, and she will let her leave this cult. Because now uh, you might even cause harm to your family if your kids become Muslim too, because you don't want them to be following false cult, which is a sexual cult, obviously violent, evil, teaching hatred, and it's against your humanity.
No wonder if you say one thing about the prophet, most especially in the northern part of Nigeria, I'm telling you, you're gonna be killed. You're gonna be killed
My
immediately. This
friend,
is
in
how
your
they
house,
kill
you
them.
can, do things in your house for the benefit of your house. I cannot advise you to say more. But this is what we are here doing. We can say here what they cannot say maybe in Nigeria. So a person like you can hear it and he will leave Islam. And I'm so happy to see tens of thousands of people who watch my videos left Islam. I don't know even how big the number is, but every day almost there is a person is texting me. Like now, I went online, you text me, saying that obviously you agree with me. So there is always people leaving Islam left and right, and we are able to say what you cannot say in Nigeria. So I leave that job for me. However, start with your family, your kids, your wife, so they cannot be fooled in the future.
Yeah, my wife was not born a Muslim, right? Me, I was born Muslim, right? That's I don't even have choice to choose my religion at birth, right?
Yeah.
But she just because I wanted to marry her and I told her that you know what, you have to become a Muslim. And she did that for love, you know. Now I don't even know how I'm gonna face this woman and start telling her all these stories. Because as I'm telling you now, I don't even believe in any I just believe religion is a scam because we have our Nigeria have their own African spirituality before all this religion came. Now you just like in fact I don't know.
But if you think about it, Islam is just another cult, which help many people in their in staying stupid, because sometimes a human being he needs to stay stupid. He cannot be smart. Being smart is going to hurt your feeling. So Islam is a very heavy drug, will keep a society which is not educated society in the drug mood. And this is why you will notice, like as an example in Israel, Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization. The Israeli, they release the leader of Hamas. At that time, it was very small, tiny. They release him on purpose so Hamas can grow. Hamas mean ignorant, stupidity, and advanced people. And that will be very suitable for the Israeli. They don't want to have an enemy who is smart, educated, advanced. They want to have an enemy who is stupid. And Islam is a perfect religion to keep them down. And this is why you will see the Israeli, they always favor the existence of those organizations. As an example, Netanyahu, he was supporting the Muslim Brotherhood in Syria. How in the world he support the Muslim Brotherhood in Syria, but he is fighting the Muslim Brotherhood in Gaza? It doesn't make sense. But in the Muslim Brotherhood in Syria, they will destroy Syria. The Muslim Brotherhood in Gaza, they use them to divide the so-called Palestinian, so they will not be united ever. They will be killing each other. In the same time, they like divide and conquer. So they do it because they knew Islam is a very, very, very easy gadget to destroy any country. Self-destruction religion. You notice every Muslim country who is, the more close you are to Islam, the more savage the country is, and the more beyond. As an example, Egypt before Islam was a very huge civilization. Even when Alexander the Great came, he built Alexandria, and the biggest library in the world was there. Ibn Khaldun, he said that when the Muslim occupied those countries, he said that a Bedouin Muslim is willing to burn a library in order to cook food. So they start taking books and they burn it just to cook. And this is Ibn Khaldun, he's a Muslim, and the Muslim even they're proud about him. So you can go and read it, and you can search it right now online. So this is what Islam does. Islam is anti-intelligence. Islam is anti-advanced, and the only one who will be advanced in the future is the one who practice the fake version of Islam, like maybe Emirat. Like in Emirat, they have mosque in every corner, but in the TV in Sky News, they are having now a historian. He is from Syria. His name is Firas al-Sawah. I made a video about him. He said many things which is against the Quran, and not even a single Muslim opened his mouth. They are trying to kill Islam slowly. Like in Emirat now, they have nightclubs, women sleep, swim in the bikini, drinking, etc. But the second you bring Islam into the country, people will leave. Qatar, they have a lot of money, so their worth is not really from being advanced. Their worth is from the gas and the oil. So their worth is staying as long as the oil is staying. The second you take the oil from them, they are going to be demolished. So the Prince of Qatar start bringing, like now they were fighting over the FIFA to bring the football game to Qatar. They bribe a lot of a bribe to bring them because they are trying to make Qatar survive in the future, because the gas will not be the only solution. They don't want it to be only solution. In Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he demolished the Islamic police. Why? This guy is a new generation. He noticed that as long as those people exist, this country will be doomed forever. If we practice Islam really as it is, when Saudi Arabia is going to have a future, never will have a future. So what he did, right away, he did everything against Islam. There's now theaters, there's movies, there's festivals, there's a movie award, there's singing awards, there is dancing, there's nightclubs, there is he's opening a project now for tourism. Women, they can drive, women, they don't need to put their hijab. So everything Saudi Arabia have since 1400 years ago, which kept the Saudi way from any civilization, down in the Bedouin mood. Now they are trying to change it by getting rid of Islam. So even the Muslim, they notice that Islam is a problem. The second you bring Islam to any country, the country will be destructed and destroyed. Afghanistan used to be a great civilization before. Muslims came. They start even bombing even ancient buildings, ancient temples, which can even bring them a lot of income from tourism. So this religion, the Muslim Brotherhood, actually, when they won the election in Egypt, their plan is in less than 3 or 5 years, they will destroy all the ancient buildings of Egypt because it's haram. Haram. So the Prophet, he can sleep with your wife, and if his eyes fall on your wife, you have to divorce her. That is okay. But those buildings are haram. So Islam is a self-destruction cult, and anyone who is an enemy to any country would love to see Islam spread there, because this is the best way to self-destruction any country. You do not need even to go in war with them. Go and look at Pakistan. You know, go look in Lebanon. Go to the Christian area. Go to the Muslim area. It's like you move to a different country. Go to Israel. You go to the Muslim area. You go to the Jewish area. It's like you are in a different galaxy. What a different. I mean, what a difference. They are getting a lot of money support even from United Nations, but still their street is dirty. They don't have jobs. They keep having babies. The street is full of kids. There is no education. You know, so Islam is the best way to control your enemy. You destroy your enemy. You demolish your enemy by having Islam in the spot. Islam is like a cancer. There is somebody, he is strong, somebody is healthy. You throw cancer at him, and give him time, and then he will collapse. This is how I see Islam, my friend. Anyway, I'm happy for you that you decide to leave Islam. For me, I would like to invite you to believe and to accept Christ as your Savior, but I cannot encourage you unless you have, you know, feeling to understand.
I appreciate all what you're doing. But you see, the thing is that I'm not going to rush into any religion for now.
All right.
Because as I am now, if I can read about it, if I like it, no problem. But for now, I don't think it's a good idea to jump into something else that I don't.
No, I don't want you to jump, my friend. I don't want you to jump. And you see, we are not the same as the Muhammadan. Or say Shahada and that's it. You have to believe, and you have to know what you believe in before you believe. The Muhammadan, because they collect anything. It's like somebody going, you know, like you see a piece of paper there, anything in their way, they take it. A pimp, he convert to Islam, they are proud about him. A pimp, he convert to Christianity unless he repent and give all the money he gave from that business, he is no Christian. So we are totally different. Christianity is an individual faith,
But
relation with
can I
God.
ask you something?
Sure.
Most of our sheikhs, they used to tell us at the masjid that oh, those Christians, don't listen to them, and you see their books have been corrupted, and those guys are liars. They are just bringing different books. Some books have 87, some have 77, some have 60 something.
Hmm.
They're just adding different things to it. They said, oh, don't listen to
Well,
those
this
guys.
is
They
their
are corrupted.
stupidity because, my friend, those numbers you are talking about, you see the word Bible, do you know what Bible mean?
What is it?
The book of books, there's many books, it's not one book. So there is some churches, they say we should put the books of tradition as part of the Bible. Some they say, no, we should not. That's all. Tradition books, or we don't have tradition books, which means the church father, the earliest a time, we add them or we don't add them. So both of them, they are right, because this is about Christianity too. And but still they are not God. They are people who wrote books from the early time. So those who would say to you their books is corrupted, actually they are stupid, because by saying that they are going and giving a screwdriver to Allah. Isn't it Allah is the one who sent the Injil? According to the Quran, Allah, he sent only one book. It's called the Injil to the Christian, correct?
Yeah, and the Torah. I
Okay.
know
No, not to the
it's
Christian
Torah.
now, to the Christian, because the Muslim they say that Allah, he sent only one book to Isa, one by one. So according to the Quran, there's only one book. But the Quran confirm what is between the hand of the Christians in the time of Muhammad. And as you see, we have tons of verses in the Quran. So when a Muhammadan he say that the book of the Christians is corrupted, he is giving two fingers to Allah, one in his eyes and one in his bum. Why? Because first, if Allah he sent the Injil and then the Injil is corrupted, that's not my problem. That means Allah cannot preserve his book. But isn't it the Quran said that no one can corrupt the word of Allah? And is the Injil is the word of Allah? Yes. But the Muslim they say no, no, Allah he meant the Quran by saying nobody can corrupt his words. But Allah did not even say the Quran. And say secondly, if Allah he decide only the Quran not to be corrupted, that means he decided to corrupt the Bible, because according to Muslims, everything happened by the will of Allah. So if somebody corrupted the Bible, that's mean by the will of Allah. So the simple question you ask to a Muhammadan when he say the Bible is corrupted, ask him by the will of Allah or against the will of Allah. In a second he will say to you by the will of Allah. So Allah is a complex of the corruption and he is the devil. Same time that contradicts what the Quran saying, that nobody can change the word of Allah, and this is contradict what the Quran saying in many places, that the Quran confirming even what is between their hands. So I say to those who say such a thing to you, they are ignorant, stupid, and they are copy paste like insect. You know, insect, all of them look the same. All of them they look the same. You cannot even recognize which one is the fly.
But the book that the Allah sent down, the Torah and the Injil, was it like it was given to Isa, right? So is it that same copy they have, or
My friend, the second Allah he used the word Injil is proving to us that Muhammad is a stupid ignorant, because the word Injil, that means Allah is approving the Greek book of the Bible only, not a Hebrew, not Aramaic. And that means that Allah he think that Jesus is a Greek person, because isn't it the Quran says we never send a messenger except in the tongue of his people? Correct?
yeah?
Okay. So if Allah he sent a book to Jesus and that book is Injil, that means this book is Greek.
Yeah.
That means Jesus is a Greek, because Allah will not send any messenger, never sent. And he said that in the time of Muhammad. We never send a messenger except by the tongue of his own people, which means he have to be, there's two conditions. He have to be from the people, and he have to give it in the language of his people. So according to the stupid Quran, Jesus was a Greek and he spoke a Greek, and his book was called Injil. And now in Arabic we are using the word Injil because simply we don't have a replacement for it, because this is the name. So the stupid Muhammad, he took the word as it is. He forgot that this is not really what he should say, Because if he is claiming that Jesus was sent to the Jew, then there is no way that his book is a Greek book. But because this is the popular name, Muhammad is fabricating words, claiming it's coming from Allah. There's no way, if Allah is God, will say, I sent down to Isa. Who is Isa? We do not know too. He sent down to Isa a book, it's called Injil. What Injil? Isn't he was sent to Israel? Why his book in Greek? So here you will notice Allah confirming what is proving that Islam is stupid. And if Allah, he said, nobody can change the word of Allah, is that goes only for all one word of Allah or all the words of Allah? The Quran says nobody can change the word of Allah. So Muslims, when they say that, actually they give us, me personally, if a sheikh now call me, and I ask you to invite sheikh to call me, but you said you refuse. If he said that to me, he will give me a bullet to demolish Islam, not a bullet, a missile to destroy it, because he is speaking against his religion. They are ignorant, they do not know what they are saying, and that's why we laugh at them. Anyway, my friend, I'm going.
Wish everybody's eyes open.
Yeah, I'm happy that you decide to leave Islam, and I will be happy to hear from you soon if you like to know about Christianity.
Even if somebody, if I want to read, where should, because I know they said the Bible have two parts, one old and one new, or I don't. So, like, if you want, what is it about those books? So even if I want to read, what should
What
I
do you mean
read?
old and new? I'm not.
They
The old,
have
I mean Old
old
Testament. Old Testament is before Christ. New Testament is after Christ. That's simple. So Old Testament is like, the Torah, etc. So you read those books if you want to know about the Jews, their history with God, what they did, the bad things, the good things. So as an example, there's a book, it's called the Book of Kings, and this is a book speak about kings and what they did, the evil and the good and the bad. It's a book of history. It's not really God, writing history. It is the Jews themselves writing in their own history and what those people, what happened to them during the time of ruling. So the Bible is a book of books. It's the book where people say things, God say things, and people do things, good and bad. So you can say the Old Testament is the documentary of the life of man with God.
Okay.
All right?
Uh,
Okay. Well,
So if
thank
I
you very
want to
much
read
for calling, and
conceptual,
I will see if I can take any other Muslim. I see some
alright,
Muslims saying they want to call me. I will see if this is true. All right, Qasim,
alright,
happy for you, my friend, that you left
alright,
Islam. All right, take care. And be sure that your wife left Islam too.
alright.
And now enjoy the expensive food in Ramadan, because Muslims, they eat more in Ramadan, not less.
Alright, thank
All
you.
right, take care. In Ramadan, there's a Muslim, he was keep saying in the text he want to call me, but now I'm looking, there's nobody text me. What a potato. In Ramadan, the Muslim, they claim that they are going to fast. But if you go and check every country in the world where Muslims live, you will find the price of food go crazy. Do you know why it go crazy? Because they eat more in the month of fasting. I mean, how you are fasting and you are eating more? Huh? So even their fasting is not a fasting, it's a lie. Because if nobody go and drive a car, the price of gas will drop, because nobody buying gas. But in the month of Ramadan, the beef, the sheep, the camel, the grocery, the vegetables, everything will go 3-4 times, and people will end in the month broken. It's the month where you cannot even, the poor people will be humiliated. So this is how false this religion, everything, they have a name for it, the same as our names, like fasting. You think what, they are fasting? No, they are not fasting. They have nothing to do with fasting. They just flip the day and night, and then they spend the whole night eating, drinking, and having sex.